It is a moment of great change in my life. I don't know about you. If it is, let us know. Say change, metamorphosis, chapters turning, new chapters turning the page. It's June 3rd, and it is our final episode of season 1. Yes, we are now a Netflix TV series. Season 1 is ending after 57, is it, Tay? 57 episodes? That's more than most Netflix series have. So 57 episodes, and we're just going to take a little break for June and be back in July. You know, similarly as we are now, but maybe new and improved in some ways. I'm hoping we're going to have a logo. We're going to, we'll see. But anyway, don't forget about us. I mean, we're going to be back. We're going to do a cool thing today, and that is give away. We're going to pick a winner for our gold tone M bass. I don't have that with me, but we're going to do that. We're going to do that today. And I'm reading my notes here from my computer because we are in our mobile location in Jersey. So wow, final episode. We're gonna spin a winner. Used to be you pick a winner. We pick a winner out of a bottle or a hat or something. We pick. Today we're gonna spin. We're gonna do that in a little while. And yeah, so the M bass. I don't know if we have a final picture of our M bass. I did put it in there, but this is a cool. I don't have it with me, obviously. It's a cool instrument. It's a really cool instrument. In fact, our guest today, our musical guest today, Nate, started out as a bass player. I wonder if he's ever played one of these little micro basses. I'll have to ask him later because they're really strange and little and tiny and sound amazing. And these fat rubber strings. Anyway, I've come to love this instrument. I will be sad to give it away, but happy to give it away. Again, thank you to Gold Tone Music for being so generous to offer that to us and you. Okay. Now, we're going to be picking, what is that what I'm seeing? Are they seeing that? No. Okay. So what we're going to do today is, besides pick a winner, I'm going to tell you right now, for the last time, before we sign off for June, Guitar Cloud Symposium is still happening, June 19th and 20th. We have new instructors this time, some of the old ones, but new ones. Very fun modules. Remember, these modules are short, 30 minutes. You end up with PDFs and videos and stuff that you can take with you because it all comes at you really quickly. There's lots of modules covering all kinds of different things. We like you to be able to play some chords. It's not that you have to be an advanced player or even an intermediate player, but like late beginner could probably get a lot out of it. It's a cool community, and we just want you to be part of it. We're going to do our special guest hang with Robin Ford. And Robin Ford, I first heard his name as part of the LA Express when I was getting into Joni Mitchell. And, wow, Robin Ford, LA Express. He's played with tons of people. George Harrison, Yellow Jackets, whom I love, Miles Davis, Joni, Larry Carlton, Rick Springfield, Little Feat, and Kiss, just to name a few. Robin's going to hang with us at the end of the weekend. And those hangs have become really, really, really sweet, really special. Like the guests, even though they're mega stars like Steve Vai and Robin Ford, and we had Dweezil Zappa, they're just really laid back because they're all friends with Jennifer, and it's a really intimate. We get to ask questions, they tell stories, but they're super relaxed, and that's a rare thing to be able to, hang with these guys. So these guys, gals. So that's happening in June. And really the main gist of today is that it is Pride Month. Gay Pride Month. So before I go into a little bit about Gay Pride, I'm going to play a song, which you all know by heart. You can sing along, even though there are no lyrics. It's called New Grass. It's the first time I'll be playing it with nails in over a year. And believe it or not, as much as I've been talking to you about my nails, you would think that once I have them, I'd be like, oh, easy peasy breezy. But now I have to get used to having them. So this is a way better thing to get used to than not having them. By the way, I'm Vicki Genfan, and this is Front Porch Thursday. Okay, so hang tight. We're going to bring on a wonderful, wonderful musician, NATE LOPEZ, in a little while. We're also going to bring out Kelly Bedwell for her final weather episode. But here is Newgrass for you. And it's in an open C tuning, a C2 tuning with nails. Thank you. Got nails. All right. Happy Pride Month, everybody. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer and or questioning, intersex, asexual or ally, and pansexual. In other words, LGBTQIAP. Can you believe that? And it's probably going to continue to grow because I don't know, because we didn't have all of those things when I was a little kid. We didn't know that we were all those different ways. So what an amazing celebration of diversity, and I think we definitely need more colors in the rainbow, or we're going to need them very soon. While there is a level of tolerance and acceptance towards members of our community that didn't exist when I was young, there definitely is a greater level. It's I watch younger people now, and it seems that to them it's more normal, more whatever. But there are many members of our community, particularly transgender of color, who are really struggling to just for basic human rights. So there's a lot of work to do. I remember telling my mom that I was gay, and I don't know how old I was. I had been living in Ithaca, New York. I was at college, and I went home, and I had a girlfriend, and I was going to tell her, and I really wanted to tell her. And we had eaten dinner, just my mom and I, we had eaten dinner, and I was in the bathroom. I don't even know if I had to go to the bathroom, but I was in the bathroom preparing myself to come out to my mother. And I don't know, I must have sat in that bathroom for an hour, easy. Um, I don't know if it was longer, but nonetheless, I sat there and just tried to muster up every ounce of courage I could. And I guess I finally came out because you can't really spend the whole night in the bathroom at your mom's house. And I went out, and I don't remember what I said, but I did told her, maybe I just said, Mom, I have a girlfriend, I want you to know. And her very first reaction was that she was sad. And she was sad because she thought I wouldn't be able to have children. Yeah, I really remember this. And I said to her, Mom, just because I'm gay doesn't mean I can't have children. And so we kind of just left it there. I had told her, she was a little sad. And then I went back to school, and a few weeks later I got a beautiful card from her saying, I love you no matter what you are or who you are with. I will always love you, and I just want you to be happy. So she had, and I was very, very lucky to have that kind of acceptance. I know many, many people who did not, would never have that kind of acceptance. My father also was very accepting of that. It was easier to tell him. He was more like a friend at the time. They were divorced, blah, blah, blah. But I was very lucky. Not always the case. My first Gay Pride March was sometime in the late 70s, I think, and a group of us from Ithaca came to New York City, and wow, that was amazing. That was just an incredible experience to be there in the streets and to feel that energy, Wow. I mean, if you're part of any parade, but there was so much, what are the words? I have them here. Well, it was just, there was a pride, there was just a gay pride. There was a pride there. It was really super amazing to be there. My story today is going to be a brief history for you, of the Stonewall Inn and the Stonewall Riots, which really were a pivotal point in the 60s, in 69, in terms of gay rights. So before we get into that little story, and again, it's just going to be a brief history because it's, there's a lot of detail. Let's bring on for the last time for the last time in this season, let's bring on Kelly Bedwell, our weather woman. Okay, hold on. And we're going to just hold on a minute to bring her on. Just a slight little interlude. Yeah.
Hello.
Kelly.
Hello.
What's happening?
Can you hear me?
Can you
hear me?
I hear you.
Good afternoon or good morning for me. This is Kelly Bedwell reporting to you from WKFU, your Brooklyn weather station. So I'm in Denver, Colorado. I flew out here for the first time on a plane since COVID hit. And I'm here for my aunt's memorial service. Kind of a sad occasion. But so the airport, we had to wear a mask all the way through the airport and on the plane. And I'll tell you, as soon as you get to the airport, it's like, oh, I've only done this a million times. But walking on to the plane, seeing everyone with a mask on was a strange experience. So speaking of masks, I got here, I went to a restaurant with my cousin, and there's no mask rule on the door. Nobody was wearing masks. In New York, we at least walk in with a mask on and then take it off at the table. That was such a strange feeling for me. I felt like, oh, God, I'm doing something wrong. Then I went to a 7-Eleven. My cousin's like, you don't need a mask. I turned around and showed her. I put that mask on. There's no way I'm going in stores without a mask. And yeah, I'm fully vaccinated. So my number 2 story, went to the rental car agency, and I'll tell you right now, if you keep complaining about the cars they give you, you end up with a BMW for the price of a compact. So I got that going on while I'm here. I wanted to go to somewhere nice, kind of Denver, Rocky Mountain, but I ended up in the Kaiser Permanente parking lot because I'm lost. I got lost. So, regarding Pride, uh, I I want to talk about how I met Vicki. Now, we used to go. My first experience in a gay bar was the Duchess, a lesbian bar. I was 21 years old. And my friends took me in there because I was thinking, I think I'm gay. And my first feeling was, I'm surrounded by women. I mean, I've never been in a position like, that doesn't really happen, not to me anyway. And then I also said, and they're all lesbians. So fast forward a few years later, not too long after that, Vicki was working as a bartender at the Duchess. And I sat my butt down in front of the bar and she was playing her guitar behind the bar. And I started saying, I'm a really good singer. You should hear me sing. I'm a really good singer. You should hear me sing. You should let me sing with you. And I don't know why she continued with that. She should have just walked away, but no. So here we are, like 30 years later or more. And I'm glad. I won't even talk about the amount of times I sat in front of you at a bar, but those days are over. So I think that's it. Let me talk about the weather. It's a beautiful day here, and it's going to be beautiful. So it's a little bit cool, like 70s, like I like, and then it's going to get to the 80s, and it's pouring rain in New Jersey. So I think that's it. Anything else, Vicki?
No. I'm just glad
Okay,
you made
then.
it to us today. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, I'll see you all in July. And this is Kelly Bedwell reporting to you from WKFU, New York weather.
Thank you. Bye.
Did I detect a little vocal fry in my voice? Okay.
Happy
All
Pride.
right. Happy Pride. Bye.
Yes, we will see Kelly in July. So I'm going to tell you about the Stonewall Riots, and you've got a link there from. There's a link about the Stonewall Riots, and then there's a really interesting story in the links about the Mafia and their ownership of all the gay bars during the 60s and 70s, and just bizarre, but part of our history. The Stonewall Riots were a series of spontaneous demonstrations by members of the gay community in response. I'm going to see if my glasses help me at all here. In response, a little bit, to a police raid that began in the early morning hours of June 28, 1969, at the Stonewall Inn in Greenwich Village in Manhattan. Patrons of the Stonewall and other village lesbian and gay bars and neighborhood street people fought back when the police became violent. The riots are widely considered to constitute one of the most important events leading to the gay liberation movement and the 20th century fight for LGBT rights in the United States. Gay Americans in the 50s and 60s faced an anti-gay legal system. Very few establishments welcomed gay people in the 50s and 60s. Those establishments that did were often bars run by organized crime groups, due to the illegal nature of gay or LGBT bars at the time. So, I was just fascinated by that. So you've got, basically being gay is considered illegal at this time. And so the Mafia kind of looks at it and I say, well, there's all these people that need places to go and it's kind of illegal, but we're like in with the cops. So why don't we own and buy and own and run all these gay bars? And we'll just pay off the cops so that they'll turn a blind eye. And that's what they did. And so not only did they owned them and they controlled them, but they made a lot of money off of a lot of those patrons. They would actually look for wealthy patrons coming into the gay bars, and they would blackmail them. Get anyway. That's a cool story. There's a link to that too. Really fascinating. Blah, 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 blah. So tensions between New York City police and gay residents of Greenwich Village erupted into more protests after the initial after the initial evening, after the initial day of protest on June 28th. So it turned into more protests the next evening and again several nights later. Within weeks, village residents quickly organized into different activist groups to concentrate their efforts on establishing places for gay men and lesbians to be open about their sexual orientation without fear of being arrested. Within 6 months, 2 gay activist organizations were formed in New York, concentrating on confrontational tactics, and 3 newspapers were established to promote rights for gay men and lesbians. A year after the uprising, to mark the anniversary on June 28, 1970, the first gay pride marches took place in New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. The anniversary of the riots was also commemorated in Chicago, and similar marches were organized in other cities across the U.S. and across the world. Within a few years, within a few years, gay rights organizations were all over the U.S. and the world. The Stonewall National Monument, do we have a picture of the monument? Was established at the site in 2016. So right across the street from the Stonewall, there is a park, very small park. And this monument, it's called the Stonewall National Monument, was established. It's really sweet. And really an important piece, as I said, of our history. Today, LGBTQRS, LMNOPQRZ pride events are held annually, I cannot remember all those letters, throughout the world toward the end of June to mark the Stonewall Riots. Unfortunately, we missed Stonewall 50, which was 2019, Tay, which commemorated the 50th anniversary of Stonewall, with city officials estimating 5 million attendees in Manhattan. That had to be amazing on June 6, 2019. At that point, New York City Police Commissioner James O'Neill rendered a formal apology on behalf of the New York Police Department for the actions of its officers at Stonewall in 1969. Tay and I actually lived, what was it, 3 or 4 buildings? Yeah. 3 or 4 buildings up the street from the Stonewall Inn during the 90s. And a little apartment, 4-story walk up on Christopher Street. And yeah. So we lived very close to there. And our friend KJ plays at the 55 Club, which is on the same street, Christopher Street, like 2 or 3 buildings the other direction from the Stonewall. New York's Marriage Equality Act was signed into law by Governor Cuomo on June 24th, 2011, allowing same-sex couples to marry legally in New York for the first time. You may remember that. We do remember that. And Tay and I, along with thousands of others, gathered in front of the bar, dancing, screaming, and popping champagne bottles to celebrate that. The following year, 2012, in June, Tay and I did what so many people could do without thinking really twice about it, but we never had been able to. We got married legally in New York. So that's a little bit of history, a little bit of my personal history. Share anything you want about Gay Pride Month, about things you might be going to or noticing that are happening in wherever it is that you live. So yeah, happy Gay Pride, everyone. It's time to spin. It is time to spin the wheel. So we're going to have a winner. So I don't know, you don't have to be here in order to win. And just so you know, full transparency, what we have done is I've asked you to share this while it's been live every week since February. And it was a certain point in February when we announced this particular contest. And those of you that shared, I have taken your name, and however many times you've shared, there's a gentleman named Steve, I don't know if you're here, who shared 19 times in one show. 19 times. So his name is on this wheel 19 times. However many times you shared, that's how many times your name is sitting on the wheel. So that's what we did. We're going to spin the wheel. We're going to get a winner. the winner does need, well, we'll figure it out. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to get a winner. You ready? You going to spin it, Tay?
I am.
All right. Tay Hoyle is spinning the wheel. Here we go. People. Drum roll. Julie Slade is the winner. Julie, go girl. Damn, yeah, you were in there a lot of times. You shared a lot of times. I think it was like 14 or I don't know. You were in there. I was typing your name in last night. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. All right, so our M bass is going to Julie Slate. We will talk later. Why don't you private message me and we'll get your address and we'll work it out. We'll send that baby over to you. Now, I'm not home yet, so I don't have the M bass in my hands. It'll be a few weeks. As soon as we get home, we'll send it out. Thank you so much for participating in that, everybody who did. Hopefully we will have more things to spin away at a later date. When we come back in July, we'll see what's going on with our sponsors. So that's that. And now it's time for some more music. People, get ready. So I don't know, Nate. I have a little echo in my headphones. Am I supposed to? I don't know Nate Lopez really super well, but I know that he's an incredible guitarist of sorts because what he plays is a really interesting, strange hybrid of an instrument. And it's not a bass, it's not a guitar, but it's both, all in one. And we definitely have some friends in common. Taya Gherkin is one of them. I bet we have more friends in common, but I'm not sure of who they all are. And Nate contacted me and said, let me be on your show and share what I do. And so I'm really excited, and you're going to be really glad you're here to listen to Nate Lopez. Everybody, put your hands together. Nate, come on out. Wake up. It's early for you. How you doing? Oh, can you hear me, Nate? Hold on.
Oh, I had him muted the whole show.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm a little more awake than you because you are where? Tell us where you're coming in from.
I'm coming in from Northern California, the Bay Area. So yeah, it's, I don't know, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It doesn't really matter. It's early.
You're up.
But I'm happy to be here. So
Thank you. Really glad to have you.
Thanks.
So tell us a little bit about that instrument and what it really is.
Yeah, so this is an instrument that I co-designed with Tyler Wells of LHT Guitars. And he was one of the disciples of Tom Rebecki, if you're familiar with that archtop giant. He's fantastic. So Tyler has his own company, fantastic company. And what we did is I had played so many different guitars at the NAMM show and tried a bunch of different fan frets and different 8-strings and hybrid guitars, and but everything wasn't quite what I wanted. So I approached him after playing one of his guitars. Approached him about doing something like this, and it was interesting too because the whole story is he saw me playing a fan fret guitar, so he let me borrow one of his fan fret 6-strings to play and to check out because I was familiar with different fan fret guitars, and I was just blown away by the build quality. It was really a fantastic instrument. So then I was like, hey, can you make me one that's headless so that's a little easier to transport around and maybe balances a little bit? He's like, I don't know, I don't really do that. I'm like, hey, maybe you can make me a hybrid one that's got some bass strings and guitar strings and separate outputs for guitar pickup and separate outputs for bass pickup. And he's like, I don't know, I don't really do that. I'm like, but what you do is so amazing. I'm sure you can do it. So together I talked to him about what I wanted, and we ended up with this semi-hollow hollow body instrument. And yeah, it's tuned EAD, ADGBE. So I've got most of a bass and most of a guitar there, and I keep it tuned like that all the time. I'm amazed at people like yourself that can just keep all these different tunings and arrangements in your head. I mean, that's too much work. So I kind of keep this in this semi-standard tuning here, and yeah, separate outputs for the bass and guitar, and so I can put effects on just the guitar, just the bass, and it's a lot of fun to play, and helps me do kind of my solo thing.
Explain what fan frets are and why you would want to have them.
Yeah, so fan frets, if you look at it's pretty easy. If you look at a harp or a grand piano, you notice that kind of curve. And if you look at the difference between a violin and, say, a cello, there's a big physical difference there, because if you want a lower string on an instrument, if you want lower sounds, it not only has to be a thicker string, but it also has to be stretched out over a longer scale length.
Okay.
So that's why ukuleles are so high in pitch and real short, and guitars are a little lower in pitch and bigger, and so on and so on. So that's this whole idea where you keep a shorter scale length for the higher strings and a longer scale length for the lower strings. And what you get is this really balanced tension and balanced overtones for everything. So my scale length, a lot of guitars are about 25, 26 inches long. My guitar is 25 inches on the high end, on the high E, and 29 inches on the low E. So I've got this huge 4-inch fan, which even for fan fret guitars is pretty big. But I find it to be really, really comfortable, and pretty much all my guitars are fan fret, and I really enjoy the way it sounds and the way they play.
Cool. Yeah, I've only played a fan fret a couple of times, and it was really strange for me. I had to,
Sure.
It was quite an adjustment, but I understand the logic behind it. You want to have those lower strings to have more room, and the higher strings to not. They don't need so much, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And it works really well for, especially if you're doing like a tuning, like an open C tuning.
Yeah.
Because that tension can change when you tune down from E to C or something like that. So, so this can really help balance that tension with everything and give a little different responsiveness.
Right. And I just discovered last night when you told me that you actually started as a bass player.
Yeah.
So was it? Did you start like really young playing bass, or what happened?
Not super young. When I was a kid, my mom made me take piano lessons, and I did that for a little bit. But I was a little frustrated because I'm listening to my dad's music of like Santana and Muddy Waters and stuff like that, and I'm listening to Muddy Waters, and I'm not finding those notes on the piano. Mm-hmm. And that was really, really frustrating for me. I'm like, wait a minute, it's not this note, but it's not really this note either. So that was weird. So when my uncle passed away, I inherited his guitar, and I played around with that, and that made a little bit more sense to me instantly. Yeah. But I realized I was playing bass lines on it. So I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'll just get a bass. I hear bass players are kind of semi-employable, more so than guitar players, at least where I live. So so I tried that out and played bass for, about 10, 15 years of all kinds of different things, from metal to Latin music and a whole bunch of jazz and all that kind of stuff as well.
And then what? You just said, I need more strings?
Well, I was always, ever since I first picked up the instrument, I was really impressed with classical guitar, about the ability to play an entire symphony or a quartet piece on just one instrument was really fascinating to me, and I really liked the sound. So I started to try and learn some classical guitar technique where you could kind of do two things at one time, hold down a little bit of a bass line and do some melody kind of thing. And I started tuning my basses kind of higher and lower. Like I had a 5-string that I tuned E, A, G, C, F. So I had kind of 2 low strings and then starting to get a little bit more chordal stuff. And basically I wanted to do some of those wailing leads like guitar players do, but I didn't want to give up the bass, give up that control. So I started doing stuff like that. And then I saw Charlie Hunter play at Yoshi's. And here he's doing this kind of classical guitar technique, but in a funky, improvised way. And I'm like, oh, and I had already been studying classical guitar technique a little bit, so it made sense to me what he was doing.
So
then I was like, oh, I just got to do that.
Charlie Hunter's the name to check out.
Yeah, Charlie Hunter is fantastic, and he's really the GOAT, the guy who kind of designed this whole hybrid thing, and he really paved the way for a lot of people to do this kind of thing. So definitely everybody's appreciative of him.
Excellent. All right, play us something on this great instrument.
Okay, cool. I'll try and play something for you here. Let's see, this original tune. This tune I wrote for this instrument. It's in the key of A flat. We'll call it A flat tire. That's how that goes.
It's
Thanks.
very cool. So, I mean, obviously that's a great instrument to play on your own. What happens when you want to play with a band or with other people? How do you just never play with a bass player, or what? How does that work for you, or what are your how's that work?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and definitely something I have to think about. I love doing a lot of solo work. Most of my work is solo work. Or I'll work with a drummer if they need a band, and we'll kind of play as a duo. And one of the things I like about that is, as a soloist, you can kind of do whatever you want. If you want to extend a section, if you want to go into another song, do a medley,
Right.
you can really kind of express yourself however you want. And the more people you add into the equation, the less room you have for improvisation.
Yeah.
So, and it has to become more agreed upon improvisation. But with just two of us, I can do whatever I want, and whether I know the drummer or not, I'm like, hey, this is where we're going, and as
Yeah.
long as he's got his ears open, then we're going, then that's
Right.
where we're going there. So
Right.
that's fun. But yeah, so if I'm playing with another group or something like that, a lot of time maybe I just won't play the bass line.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to do, though, would be to have the bass player to free up the bass player, because I'm not going to do any fancy bass stuff. I'm just going to kind of hold down the root. So if I'm holding down the root, then let's let that bass player do some melodies, do some chords. And so depending on the bass player, we can have a great time and really find that space together. But just like a keyboard player, sometimes you're fighting for that space, and we got to take turns.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Cool. Have you been? I don't know a whole lot about where you've been with your career. So tell us a little bit about like the last few years. Have you been traveling? Have you been mostly doing the area, around the Northern California area? Or
Yeah, sure. I'm fortunate to be in Northern California, this Bay Area here, so I'm kind of in between wine country and then San Francisco, Oakland area. So between all the wine country events and then all the San Francisco city clubs and that kind of thing and everything in between, there's a good amount of places to play and make a living from that. And that's mostly what I do is play. I don't really teach too much because I do tour a fair amount. And get out to Europe a little bit. I'm just starting to get out there, but tour a lot in the U.S. Usually when I tour, I like to go out to an area, like go out to Nashville, play some gigs there, and then drive out from there, rent a rental car and drive out to, Louisville or go out to Memphis or something like that, New Orleans, something like that, and then come back and then drive home. So kind of doing smaller, week or two week long tours. And yeah, I really enjoy doing that and playing all over the place and festivals and that kind of thing. Of course, that didn't do too much of that during the lockdown, and so we had to adapt and get cameras and do this kind of thing. But I'm really thankful for these type of concerts and for what you're doing. I mean, it gives us a place to play, a chance to talk, and it's really invaluable, as you know. So.
Yeah. Well, it's cool. Play us another one, Nate.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's see here. What is it? Daytime. We'll try a little Bill Withers here for you all and try and wish you all a lovely day. A little bill for you.
Yeah. Well, I love Bill Withers.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Fabulous, fabulous. I would imagine that you would be really fun for singers to play to do duos with. Have you done much of that? Is that part of what you're into doing?
Yeah, my wife, Honey, sings, and she's fantastic. Really does some bluesy stuff, and what we like to do is kind of bluesify pop tunes or other tunes that are not really necessarily bluesy. Kind of have that tendency. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to anytime I can have a dialogue with anybody, it's fantastic. But yeah, it's really nice to get a chance to play with the singer and have someone else do a melody, and I can kind of go around. And I do a little bit of percussive stuff, not like what you do, but you know, you can hear couple little clicks here and there. And so really I think we can make a good amount of music with just the two of us that way. Yeah, it's a nice
Yeah.
instrument for that, for sure.
Yeah, no, it seems I can just hear like, you know, in a way you're kind of double the value as a.
I keep telling people that.
I would think.
Like, hey, come on now.
2 for 1.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to mess around. Well, the thing is that whether you're playing trombone or triangle or violin or whatever, as musicians, we have to spend a tremendous amount of time playing by ourselves and playing with ourselves. So with the guitar or piano are really fantastic instruments to where you can kind of accompany yourself, and then it just kind of feeds off itself. I was going to say each other, feeds off each other's hands, your own hands, and this kind of thing. But it can be a lot more fun to kind of do that. So
Yeah, very cool. What's coming up for you, like in terms of your own music? Do you have albums? Do you have CDs? Are you what you working on?
Yeah, I've got albums out there. I've got some physical CDs, and we still do those sometimes. And I got some stuff on Spotify, Apple Music, all that kind of thing. I've got a couple different albums out, and everything. My social media and everything is at NATE LOPEZ Music. So if you look in Spotify or that kind of thing, you'll find that. I just did a release of, I did a cover version of Prince's Kiss, doing a single, just instrumental version of that. So that just came out. And I've got a couple different projects going on. I've got a bunch of original songs that I want to finish recording. A project of some jazz tunes, because it's fun to try and kind of explore that kind of thing. And then I also have a new project of... and I'm about halfway through of doing a bunch of Nirvana tunes, doing sort of EP, because I grew up, I'm 42 now, so I grew up with Nirvana around in my teens there, and it was just fantastic music. So I do a bunch of stuff like that on my guitar, and so doing some solo instrumental arrangements of that kind of stuff will be fun. So that should be coming out soon, so definitely look for that.
Is there anything of that you could share with us today, or are you not?
Sure. You want to hear a little something?
I would love that.
Sure. Why not? Let's see. Let's mess around with that. Yeah, so I end up doing a whole bunch of different Nirvana tunes. And they work really, really well as music. You know, anything that has a good melody, anything that has good chords, you can mess with. You can kind of do anything you want to. So I think they do all right. Let's see here. How about?
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was really great. I see
Music
what
from my youth.
Yeah, but I see what you mean. Like it suits that instrument so well.
Yeah, kind of all of their stuff I think is really fun, and it's a little bit of a thumb challenge to keep that up, and it's anything that's a challenge is fun, you know.
Yeah, challenge is fun. Keep us growing, right? Keep us expanding.
That's
Yep.
right.
Keep stimulated. Shout out to some of the folks out there. Dana, thanks for always being with us. Leslie, thanks for being with us. Julie, I don't know where Vincent is today, but he's been with us all along. KJ, I know you were out there for a moment. Hilda Willis, you were out there. Who else is out there?
KJ, Sonia.
Sonia, thanks for being. Sonia, people are loving your stuff. Yeah.
Taya.
Taya's out there. Hey, Taya.
Hey man.
Yeah. Yes, let's do a gig together in California. We're gonna drive out there, I think, for NAMM. I think that's the plan.
Are you coming out to 2020 this coming NAMM, huh?
That's what we're thinking. Are you thinking that, Tay?
Well, not until now.
We're easing our way into it. Yeah. So, you know,
That's great.
yeah, let's do something. Let's do something.
Nice. Yeah, I love the NAMM show and getting down there all the time. I don't know how I feel yet with the pandemic and everything. I'm vaccinated as well. But you know, I have survived NAMM pretty well, and out of what, I don't know, 10, 15 years of NAMM, I think I've only got the anthrax once. So my hand sanitizer game has been really NAMM prepared me for the pandemic in so many ways. Like, oh, I don't touch anything and use hand sanitizer and cover my face. Oh yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm actually amazed that we didn't all get COVID at the NAMM show in 2020. Because like we were
I know
there.
some people who think they did.
Oh, well, okay, but I'm really grateful I didn't. We were sick.
Yes.
Tay was sick with a really, really bad cold, but it wasn't, I don't think it was COVID. But anyway,
Good.
hopefully get out there. Hopefully we're going to get out there and it'd be great to do something together.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's anything else you want to share with people. They know how to find you. They know how to listen to your music. They know that you got new stuff coming out. A Nirvana record coming out soon. I think everyone's really stoked about that. Yeah, and I just love to hear you play one more song for us.
Yeah, that sounds great. No, this has really been fun. Thanks so much for having me here. It's fun, and your whole series has been really great. I mean, seeing Andy McKee last week is always a treat, and so many great players. And to be on this during Pride is really great as well, and that's a special honor. So thank you. I mean, it's we gotta celebrate that as much as possible for sure. Be loud, and I love it. So yeah, I'll do one more tune here. Let's see. You want to hear a cover or original tune?
Whatever you enjoy playing the most.
I love it. All right. Let's see here. You know what? Since you were just talking about the NAMM show, I wrote a song about it, about driving, because when I'm in Northern California, it's about a 6 or 7 hour drive the way I drive to get down there, and that means slow. Some people make it in like 4. But yeah, get down there on that I-5, and so this tune is called Back to Anaheim.
All right. Yeah. That's what I'm
Thanks so
talking
much.
about. Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, Nate. I look forward to meeting you in person and doing some
Yeah.
playing. And in the meantime, people, you know where you go to find out more about what Nate's up to. Thank you. We will meet again. And say goodbye to Nate, everybody. People really dug it. They really loved it.
This was really a pleasure. Thanks so much for making this comfortable, and thanks to Tay for everything that you do, doing so much in the background. I hear you and respect that. So thanks to Vicki, and I'll see you all and
All right.
meet you soon.
Take good care, Nate.
Cheers.
Bye-bye. So we're coming to the closing of our season 1. And I thank you to all of you who came and watched one time or came and watched every time or medium amount of times. Just really, really grateful. I started this, just to try to make some positive energy move in the world under strange circumstances. And circumstances are still strange, but we've come a long way since last March. So I'm going to keep wearing my mask in tight, close situations with a lot of people. Hope you do the same. And I want to thank some of our sponsors, some of the people that have helped me out, not only on the show, but over the years. Certainly Luna Guitars, Gray Burchette Guitars. Gray, you've made this amazing guitar for me. Tatrix and Tay Hoyle, who I couldn't do any of this without. G7 Capos, who I've loved for years and years and years. Thank you for all you do. And also Cordial Cables, making great cables that I'm not using right this second because we're using great mics, but there will be many times we'll be using their cables. And probably forgetting some people here. Fishman. I love their amps for acoustic guitars, you guys. Love them. And True Fire, of course, who have been by my side forever. It looks like I'm going down there in July to create some more instructional videos. Yes, yes, yes. So we'll keep you posted about that. Audix microphones. We've been using their headset mic, not only for this show, but for the Guitar Cloud Symposiums, and really find those really useful and great. Today I'm not using it, but we've been using them all along. So, mucho thank you to all those folks out there. And please get on my mailing list. Go to my website, get on my mailing list if you're not. I'm actually sending out emails, which I'm so impressed with myself about. I don't know, I must have turned a new leaf. Something's happening. So I will let you guys know what's happening via email, via Facebook. We're also broadcasting this show on YouTube. Some of you may be watching on YouTube. But the mailing list is a great place for you to also be part of and get information from me. So there you have it, and I'm going to sign off. And as I sign off, first of all, let me tell you our quote for today, which is, diversity is being invited to the party. Inclusion is being asked to dance. So let's keep on working towards more diversity and more inclusion in our everyday lives in whatever we do. I'm going to go out singing a song, and we may not get to all of it, but I'm going to take us out with my song called Don't Give Up on Me. And as many of us in fringe groups, many of those people in fringe groups know really too well, it's easy to to garner feelings of self-hatred, you know, and not liking ourselves when the outer world tells us we're not okay. And this song's kind of about that. It's about learning to love all the parts of ourselves, even the parts we don't really like. It's called Don't Give Up on Me. So don't give up on me, I won't give up on you. Thank you. Take my headphones off. I don't need my headphones. Hold on, taking my headphones off. Much easier to sing and hear. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Talking about don't give up, don't give up, don't give up, no. Don't give up, don't give up. I'm your nightmare, I'm your evil eye. I'm your worst scare. Your biggest coward. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm rewriting this as I sit here, and I don't know the words this way. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Yeah, I said don't give up, oh, don't give up. I get to make it up. It's one of those things I've loved about. Front porch Thursday, front porch Thursday. Don't give up, don't give up on me, 'cause I'm the one. Need your love, you'll see. Don't give up. Let your love come down on me. Yeah, doo-doo-doo-doo. Let a little bit of love come down on me. Let a little bit of love come down on me. Yeah, deep down, let love come down. I'm your bigot, I'm your faggot, I'm all those things you don't like. But you gotta love me, yeah, yo, all through the night. I say, don't give up, 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 don't give up on you. Oh, don't give up on you, don't give up on you. Are you gonna play along with me? Maybe from behind the scenes I can see you play along. Yeah, don't give up, don't give up. Oh,